Saturday evening, it is the top 7. It is 5th against 7th. Manchester United against Wolves. United's last Premier League game, of course, that disappointing home defeat to Burnley. Locked on 34 points from 24 games. And considering the demands of the Europa League, before we get into Manchester United, how well have Wolves done to be at that stage, level on points with United and Tottenham, we should point out? Incredible.
I think there's a fantastic return for them. I can't see them falling out of it as well. I think they can go from strength to strength. I think they'll go very, very deep in Europa League as well. Obviously, that's taken a lot out of them early part of the season, you know, into the qualifying stages there. They've got good players. They've got wonderful balance. Neves for me, Moutinho in midfield. You know, then Donko can play centre-back or in midfield. You've got Connor Cody, you know, and Doherty. And you've got Adama Traore up front, who's just been a revelation this season. Jimenez scores goals, you know, Yotto is one of my favourite number 10s. I just think they've got a wonderful blend there, and I really believe in the manager, Nuno. I think he's done an excellent job there, and he gives this group of players the real confidence that they can go and beat anyone.
Now, positives from Wolves. I was at Old Trafford for that Burnley defeat. We've all seen the pictures, we all heard the boos. How important is this game for Manchester United after what happened in their last one?
It's huge. I mean, it's Manchester United. Every game is very, very tough for them mentally, but they have to deal with it. If you want to play for Manchester United, you have to deal with big games. And when you don't win football matches, every game gets bigger. And this is a real threat team as well. I mean, Ollie's going to have to set his team up to really attack, in my opinion. Yes, he's going to have to worry about the pace on the counter of this kid, Traore. You've got the hold-up skills of Jimenez, and you've got the creativity of Jota dropping into number 10 positions. And you've got the experience and the technical ability of the two midfield holding players, Neves and Moutinho. So, for me, at this present moment in time, that is a better side than that. I'm talking about not individuals. I think they've got good individuals as a group with the manager, how he organises them. That is a better team than that. And the players, the experience. Martial's going to have to come to the party. You're going to have to see a lot more from James. Look, Marcus will be injured again. Whether it's Greenwood coming in, I think that they possibly will find a little bit more pace. Greenwood would come in, I believe, for Mata. But one thing's for sure, Maguire, Lindelof, and Wan-Bissaka and Williams are going to have to be solid. The goalkeeper's going to need to play well for them to win this game.
You mentioned Portuguese midfielders there for Wolves. They're waiting for confirmation in here of one Bruno Fernandes to arrive for Manchester United. Still not done. Nothing official, we should point out, at this stage. But if and when he signs, how much of a boost in that area of the field for Manchester United?
Well, it's a huge boost, but like I say, he's coming from Portugal, never played in the Premier League before. So ask him to be the one who's going to make the difference is a big ask, to hit the floor straight away and make the difference to this side. We know he's got ability. They certainly they've signed the right Fernandes. I saw Gedson Fernandes playing the FA Cup for Tottenham at the weekend, and I couldn't find any glimpse of hope that he'll be a player for the Premier League for the future. Given the benefit of the doubt, he might develop. This boy's a step above. I think he's proved that he can score goals. He proves that he can drive for midfield. He is a Man United type player. He would have that swagger in that tunnel when the Wolves players, hopefully he's in time. If the Wolves players line up against him, he will be not fazed about Wolves. He knows his ability, and he knows he's playing for the biggest club in the world, and I think he takes that onto the field.
Well, their Portuguese contingent, of course, will know all about Bruno Fernandes, no more so than their manager, Nuno, who has been talking about the player who has impressed him and most of the Premier League, Adama Traore.
Adama is unique. We have to look back and see where Adama came from. Adama, since he was very young, he was always different.
Were you ever wavering in your belief about doubting him?
You have a lot of doubts. You have a lot of doubts, even now.
To keep a player hungry?
No, to teach him, to give him new things, to develop him.
How much more potential is there in Adama?
No limits.
Wow, no limits. He's unique. But let me just take you back to this fixture at Liverpool last season with Adama Traore. What did you make of him then?
Well, he's a lot better now. We've picked 2 fixtures, one last season and one this season, so you can see a contrast. Against the same time, on the same team, on the same ground. Traore is a maverick. I had him at Aston Villa. He can be anything he wants to be. He's got ridiculous pace. On a 1v1 situation, his end product wasn't the best. You have to give Nuno an awful lot of credit for how he's developed him. Not only Nuno, but the players in and around. Moutinho, we talked about the experience. He's played with world-class players all the time. I'm sure they're helping him out. I've said it many, many times. The players at Aston Villa, when I had him, they didn't want to play with him, but they certainly wouldn't want to play against him because he's not a team player. He wasn't.
From a managerial point of view, he could certainly frustrate.
It's a frustration. Oh, you see Nuno's reaction there. He's certainly a frustration because he promises so much. Wherever he's been, Aston Villa wasn't a good spell. Went to Middlesbrough. They all love him, the fans, because he gets you on the edge of your seat. But he didn't deliver in the end. At Wolves fans are getting the best out of him. And what we're seeing this year in these clips is the best of him.
What's the difference, Tim? What's the big thing for you that's changed?
The end product, the little bit of calmness, that little bit of belief, probably with playing games, but certainly with a lot of coaching. And Nuno said there, we want to help him out. We want him to be a threat. He knows when to run now. He knows when to lay it off first time. He's mixing his game up an awful lot. We know he's got the strength. We know he's got the pace. This here, when he puts himself in the grass here, that is the worst nightmare for Robertson. He's thinking, I don't want to play 1v1 against this kid. I used to play sessions with him in tight situations in 5-a-sides, and no one wanted him in their team.
Why?
Because he can't handle and he can't combine in tight areas. He couldn't. He's better at it now. He always wanted to pick the ball up and he wanted to run all the time. When you opened up the pitch, I used to say to the boys who used to give him stick and not want him on the team, let's see you now defend against him when they got the grass. When you got the grass behind him, let's see how you go 1v1. He will destroy anyone. He's capable of doing it, and we'll see him here. What they're looking to do, Liverpool, what Robertson will be doing, he'll be shouting as loud as he can to the nearest people here, come and help me, come and double up. When we show you these clips here, see how many times Liverpool, and we're talking about Liverpool and the team they are now, try and double up on him because they know what a threat he can be. This is, you don't want him getting you 1v1 because it's almost impossible for him to stop you. Like, look at him doubling up on him, trying to help out. His end product, that is what he's added to his game. The cross, I think it's half a breath, little relax, deep breath, and then deliver. And he's really producing, holding it up as well, driving, creating a melee. See here, this is what I say, he creates a melee. It's a bit like Jack Grealish does at Aston Villa. Look at all the players around him, the strength of him. You know, they're all trying to stop him. This one, he should have released. If he releases it now, then the space is out here, isn't it, for these guys out here? If he can release that ball, because he's on his way forward here, there's an awful lot of space created by the melee there where he's just surrounding them players. He doesn't manage to do it, but they still don't get the ball off him. Look, his strength takes the hit still. Sometimes, this used to be him. That used to be him 2 years ago. Now he's improved. That is very rare for him to do that now. He's got far more end product to his game. Don't try and fight him. Don't try and get strong. Try and out-strength him because you will not win. I mean, he's just a powerhouse, and his delivery. Jimenez has scored so many goals because of him.
Yeah,
it's been outstanding.
He's got the best combination in the Premier League.
He'd be like go in there, nice and calm, but in his head he's thinking, help. Wanyama knows he's in danger. They've seen him play. They all know. They're all coming to the rescue. Don't worry. Can they stop him? No. Brilliant. Brilliant. Deliver. Keep doing it. Keep doing what you're good at. Like this one is the worst ever for him. I'm going to see it now. When he steps inside and rolls this, you'll see. Man, there. This is one of the quickest defenders in the league here, Van Dijk. Where's my straight line gone, Steve? You got it on there. Okay, so Van Dijk here thinks he can win the race in here until he realises that is Traore, and then he's beat. he cannot win the race. He thinks he can beat him into this area. He thinks he can beat him in the race down the side. And what he does, he leaves a huge, huge void in there, and Jimenez scores the goals. The person on position there, Jimenez, is the one who scores the goal. But he only scores the goal because Van Dijk doesn't win the race. The race, what he wins 9 times out of 10 every single week. But he puts the brakes on because he realised that's Traore. There he goes. He knows he can't win it. Delivery, Jimenez, goal. Spaces, wide open spaces. Outstanding, this kid. How far can he go? Remains to be seen. He needs to keep his feet on the ground, listen to the manager who's doing a brilliant job with him, listen to the experienced players he's got in and around him, because he needs to realise they've put a structure in to accommodate him, and he's delivering.
And just to give you an idea of how he's delivering, when you compare last season's numbers to this season's, there you go. Just 1 goal in 29 appearances last season. He started 11 games, was trusted from the start last season, and 1 assist. 7 assists already, 4 goals already, and obviously 6 games less played. Does that surprise you in any way? If you'd had more time with him, did you feel that you could get that out of him?
Well, you know he's a threat. It was all about, did he want to listen? And he did. He did want to listen, but he was injured too much for me. I had an opportunity to pick him 4 times, and he had to come in off the bench. He affects the game when he comes on. Like I say, the fans want to see him. He's electrifying. He gets everyone who's not, say, the people who don't watch football much would be excited by this guy. He gets you off your feet because of his pace, because of his energy, because of his strength. He needs to get to be more sophisticated. He needs to keep mixing that game up. He needs to keep wanting to improve. And then who knows where he could be. But you see the level of improvement there, year on, year out. And the numbers come the end of this season will be fantastic as well. Can Wolves keep hold of him? I think they can. I think he needs to stay there. He needs to learn his trade. Worst thing can happen for Traore now, him to go back to a Barcelona, go to a Man City and sit on the bench. At the moment, I still think he's an impact player at any of them clubs. At the club he's at now, they all love him.
And quickly, does he help Wolves win on Saturday for you at Old Trafford?
I think it gives them a real chance, yeah. I think this is a 50-50 game, and like I say, the best team at the moment is Wolves.
Tim, thank you as always. Huge set of fixtures to come then in the Premier League. Beginning, of course, tonight in East London, where the leaders are in town to take on 4th from bottom West Ham. From Tim and I, we'll see you again soon.